So I upcycled them and gave them a new life. And in the other show you see there was the album covers. I took album covers of people.
Oh snap! Patty Sirens.
And I gave them another life. Like who knows?
Yeah, have a seat. Chill out anywhere.
Have you ever heard of that person, Arthur Bryson? No. He was a spoken word artist in the 50s. And that was when I was working on that piece. I was working on a table that had mud cloth on it, and I'm looking at the piece. I'm like, oh, that fabric just like this. So I just had a piece of mud cloth and just stuck it there, and it fit perfect. Hi. So is this a good place to sit for the?
Yeah, you're good. We're kind of just chilling.
Yeah. Ankara is a type of African cloth. It's made black with a batik that's then waxed over, makes it very sturdy and durable, and it holds the color, the vibrancy. Ankara, you've heard it, because when you're looking at African clothing, they will describe it as, 100% Ankara fabric. It's the only thing that I use. And so everything that you see with the fabric, that's mine. In the book, I don't know if you had a chance to look at the book. You're welcome to look through it. It's $40, and it's free if you buy a piece, and I will sign it.
She will sign it. Do you need a table?
No.
Okay. I have little tables. I have little TV trays. Oh, it's in the house. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Rika, Trey wrote me a poem.
What?
It's so beautiful. He scribbled it out last night, and he said he didn't want to give it to me because it's so...
He printed it out for
He
you?
wrote it on a piece of paper.
Oh, my goodness.
And he said, I don't want you to have it because it's so messy. I said, no, I like it just like that.
You're like...
And he read it to me.
Oh, my gosh.
I met a
That's
man
so
by the
beautiful.
river, and he wrote a poem for me. And then he read it to me by the river.
That's beautiful.
That is so lovely.
Nice.
Does this look familiar?
Ha ha ha! Rika, you need to see this.
Does this look familiar?
Whoa!
that?
I love that. That's vintage.
Gee.
That might be the only one. Wow.
And this, we printed this stuff next door.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, our friend Jacob.
So, would he be able to do a print of any of my pieces? Does he do that kind of work?
No, I think it's a little different. He mostly does screen printing
Screen printing on clothing.
on shirts and whatnot. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
I have another one.
Okay. I think.
Oh.
We are ready to rock.
Get my phone next to my poems like that.
Working on a workshop. How about that?
We got work to do. We got work, baby.
I know.
We got job.
To be taken by the natural beauty of this place is to be accepted into a guild of gods, philosophers, stones rounded in the surf in service to our evolution. This ocean is one of my favorite places to process, to just be still, feel, spiral, center, self. Open mine eyes and behold what it is to be held. The earth swells reflexively with every vista. Her vanity is in our bones. Terrain, insane. Each curve a carving, the careful hand of an elemental sculptor. She wears her scars like the sterling stars who made them. Humbled in submission to the force of her own gravity, blood boiling in the deep beneath. This is a good kind of stress. Her cracks exposed provide pathways for the faithful we forget to let go, so when at last you have a moment, hold it. Observe, not in efforts to control or fold it into a box. The trade winds will not fit in your phone. They have known how lonely the throne is. How technology has rendered us desensitized. Atlantean fantasies of seas like skies, rising tides, changing the flow of rivers. The most beautiful bodies of water are the ones that heal. I feel the time to explore the abyss has come. Shine light so that we might photosynthesize our demons into air. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Thank y'all. Peace.
Yes.
My name is Joseph Jason Santiago Lacour, and we are in Sacred Mud Henna and Tattoo Studio / Gallery. My amazing partner, Rika Smith de la Luz, over here, hooking up all of the lovely space. Please feel free to move around, check out the art, looking closely. Feel free to purchase apparel and artwork by our amazing friend Madonna Camel here as well. Thank you all for being here. Hi, it's good to see you.
Yes.
Wow, yeah. We're doing a poetry workshop, but it's a little bit different than maybe a regular poetry workshop, right? Thank you to my friend Patty Sirens for being here, amazing poet as well. I feel like we know how to write. I feel we're all pretty good at writing. Well, some of us are doctors, some of us, have poured our hearts out on the page already. But I think also that we don't get enough opportunity to share it. We don't take the time, a lot of times, to speak our work, to perform our emotions, right? You take all this time and you distill down all of your words into these amazing lines that sometimes the first time you ever even hear it is the first time you're speaking it on a microphone. And a lot of times that's the last time. But I want to give poets, myself included, an opportunity to practice that particular aspect. I don't have a big screen up here, but I do have a nice PowerPoint presentation that I will kind of be drawing from. We call this workshop, we call the workshop Dope Poet Love, a performance workshop, because those three words seem to be magical to me, like henna, right? Poetry. There are these magical, crazy words, combinations of letters, right, that get our attention and draw us in. So, Dope Poet Love, okay? And I also have poetry books by the same name. You're welcome to check those out. And
There's one left and you can pre-order the next copy.
Yeah, and I'll send you the PDF situation. Quick disclaimer, we are all works in progress. Please do not record, publicize, or post anything here without the express permission of all parties included. Respect is expected. All right? I am recording this for myself and for training, and maybe we'll post it online later, YouTube, but we want to talk to folks about talking to folks. Okay? A quick land acknowledgement. This is important, right? This is new language to me, so I'm excited to share it. Okay, the land on which Santa Cruz is located is the unceded territory of the Awaswa-speaking Yupi tribe. The Amamutsan tribal land, comprising descendants of the indigenous people taken to Mission, Santa Cruz, and San Juan Bautista during Spanish colonization, is today working hard to restore traditional stewardship practices on these lands and heal from historical trauma. We also pay homage to those who were stolen from Africa, placed in bondage, falsely named as chattel, and forced into labor, who were called slaves but never submitted as such, who have always been fully human with an unbroken connection to the divine and to each other. To our indigenous, black, and undocumented forebears and selves, We commit to the continued struggle for liberation and reparations, for it is only through freedom and justice for all that we can contest racial capitalist violence. There. We'll get that down. We'll get that down. Maybe memorize it and turn it into a poem. Yeah.
It is a lot.
Right.
But you said it, so thank you.
So I basically framed this whole workshop by the sentence, let your work work. Right? Let your work work. You put all this time into writing these poems. Maybe you practice them. Maybe you share them with somebody that you deeply love, right, and trust, or a room full of strangers, okay? But then a lot of times you get up there and you start to try to explain the poem. You get up there and you talk for 5 minutes about a poem that's 30 seconds long. It's kind of discrediting, right? So if you have a short poem, maybe that's worth it. I have poems that have these long intros, right? Because I care about the piece, and then it's a haiku, you know, like represent. Like we should understand how powerful the words are in themselves, right? We always feel like we have to explain our kids, you know, or like apologize for this being something that you may or may not understand, because we're scared. We're scared of how it's going to be received, okay? But I believe we should let the work work. Now, in doing so, how do you do that? Okay. I have a poem here that I would normally just tell people to read. Just read it, right? And then I perform the poem. Okay? You just saw my performance, and imagine how that poem looks on a piece of paper, right? Maybe I write line and then another line, and you can kind of see the rhythm, right? You can see my line breaks in there. Maybe there's places in that poem where I take a breath, or I get emotional and I have to stop, or I wrote it on the page and I fucking forgot how it's supposed to go, right? So when you're performing the piece, right, think about how it sounds when you're looking at a piece on a page, right? Think about how it sounds when you're performing it. There it is. Okay? A lot of times I write because I come from hip hop. I come from writing to perform. A lot of times when we're writing poems so we don't implode. Right? At the highest form. That's what poetry feels like it can do anyway. But yeah, there's a significant difference between reading something and performing something. And as long as we understand that, I think the workshop can kind of just continue. In particular, I think about the word performance, right? What is it? You perform actions, you perform a poem, you perform, a car performs, right? You perform an action, anything, okay? But I think what happens is we get caught up between the words performance and performative, right? Like you start to feel like this interesting imposter syndrome when you're performing sometimes. Maybe because you memorized it, or maybe because, you know, you feel like you should have. And there's this existential crisis that happens when you're standing in front of a microphone and a bunch of people that you don't know where they are. Maybe they're way better than you, you know, or maybe they don't even speak your language, okay? But it becomes this dance that we do when we're performing. And so you have to kind of gain peace with the need to share the work first. I think it's super important that you're okay sharing this work. Some of the pieces will never be read. I imagine in your book Antarctica, right? Like there's pieces in there that you're never gonna read. You know, you're never gonna read them out loud. But then there's some I'm just like, oh my God, you know, I can hear you reading it, kind of thing, right? I can hear you reading it. I can see it on the page. I can hear what your voice sounds like. I can hear the words you're using. You know, I can hear the person next to me, you know, pulling out their phone to record, right? Like, it's a difference. So the definition of performance, okay, is a bodily practice that produces meaning. Performative, as in behavior, is defined as an action taken specifically with an audience in mind to elicit a response. or a reaction, right? You think about your kid, your kid, Greg Speed just walked in the door. Yeah. Doing something specifically to get a rise out of you, right? We've been in relationships. We got family members. We got work relationships. We know people that do shit just to piss you off kind of thing, or just to make you laugh, right? Like that's kind of performative as well.
Can I interject?
Yes, please.
So when you say performative, that doesn't necessarily mean there has to be a large group of an audience. It could just be one person
Sure.
that you are directing that piece to. Right.
Yeah. I agree.
Because when I hear perform, I think of, and that's just the way that I'm wired to interpret words. So what you're helping me to do here is we're changing, we're shifting the definition of what words mean. Right? So perform isn't necessarily for an audience.
Sure.
It can be an audience of one.
Yeah. It could also be for yourself,
Yes.
right?
As you write it, you are performing.
You're performing, and maybe you practice in front of a mirror. Maybe you record yourself. People make YouTube videos now, so people are getting a little bit more comfortable seeing themselves and that whole
Right.
self-image
Right. So
kind
it's
of thing.
changing the definition and the paradigm around what performance is.
Facts.
Yeah.
It's shifting.
Yes.
It's shifting. Thank you. So, we basically just want to make sure that we understand the difference between those
Yes.
two. And performing is something that I kind of learned to do early because I was a rapper when I was 14, 15 years old. And I learned how to jump on stage with a bunch of rowdy people, okay, and make peace with a bunch of rowdy people. You got to kind of command that attention, and be okay with people talking over you, and be okay with the TV on, or the bar, or there's somebody over here smoking a cigarette and the smoke is burning your eyes, to be okay tripping over mic cords, right? You learn about all these things, right? So what I wanted to do, in this workshop, just talk about some of the physical aspects of performing a poem, right? The physical aspects. I'm talking about standing up here like I am now, using my outside voice, okay? Kinda, right? But thinking about exactly what I'm doing here, so that when I finally get up here, I'm not thinking about exactly what I'm doing up here, right? Like it becomes second nature for you to just be like, bam, bam. Okay, so some of the actual things that you need to know before reading a poem, okay? Time. You're experienced in this. Speed is experienced in this, okay? Madonna's experienced in this. It's teaching, right? Like you have to know how long your poem is and how it's going to fit in this space that you were given. Say you're on an open mic, okay? Go to open mics. And you have a 5-minute window. But you have 4 poems and each one of them is 3 minutes long.
I'm not good at math. I can do the math on that.
And you want to read them all. Okay? And there's a long list of other people that want to perform. Okay? If you try to read all of your poems and the host isn't honest enough to be like, hey, you're cutting into somebody else's time. And maybe they drove 4 hours to get to this open mic. In which case, shame on you kind of thing. Okay? You could just do the other 2 poems at the end of the next mic next week. Like, what are you doing? You're like, just be considerate, right? It's about courtesy. Okay, so time. And time your piece, like record a voice memo. That's the best way to do it. Get used to reciting it how you want to recite it, then hit record on the voice memo, do it, and that way you have a general idea of how long your poem is. Okay?
And also have your work ready before you get up to the mic.
That's the next point in the PowerPoint, Rika.
Right?
Have your piece ready. Have your piece ready. I mean, come on. We've been to open mics and you get up there and they like, okay, cool. Oh wait, the internet is out. I forgot my password. Hang on, yo. And then it's just dead air because ain't no music playing. Everybody's sitting there waiting. I was going to go to the bathroom after your poem, but now I'm going to wait. Right? So like have your piece ready and maybe you write it down, okay? Or if it's on your phone, have it downloaded, take a screenshot of it, something. Have it immediately accessible, right? It's just basic professionalism, right? If a teacher got up there, you paying for college and the professor get up there and they're like,
Right.
you're going to be like, I need to talk to the registrar and get my money back. Like, this is ridiculous, right? Exactly. But have your piece ready. Okay, that's 2. So time and having your piece ready. 3rd is having a clear path, okay? Which is both literal and figurative, okay? Like clear path, meaning you kind of know what you want to do with your piece, right? Is it the right piece for this audience?
Is there a trigger warning?
Is there, okay?
That's interesting.
Right? Is it the right, does it fit this environment? Okay, are they going to feel it? Or is it not about them at all? Is it just about me? And I need to get this off my heart right now, which is a clear path. Okay, and then physically a clear path. Okay, there's cables, there's stairs. Somebody spilled a drink earlier. Okay,
It's a dog.
there's a dog, somebody brought their comfort dog. Okay, there's a door. Like all of these things, you want to be mindful. Okay, the stage is all the way over there. They're gonna call my name. Okay, and it's gonna take me approximately 60 seconds to get all the way over there, which is a minute of my stage time. Right?
That counts in the 5 minutes, right?
It totally counts from when you are introduced, basically, to when it's time to when you're finished. Okay, like that's your sacred space. So respect it.
Yes.
Okay? Have that clear path. And think about it also in terms of safety for other people. If you're a host, you want to make sure, we have elders, we have seniors, we have people with mobility issues, make sure that it's easy for them.
And to let people, if you're hosting, let them know they're coming up on deck.
Right.
So they can be ready.
Right. That's a good thing. Speed, we need to make note of that. On deck kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. We used to use those birthing metaphors at the word church kind of thing, like
Crowning.
what was it? In transition.
In transition.
And then crowning.
And being born.
And being born right now.
Hmm.
That's a trip. It's a trip. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. I think that comes from
It is.
Slam Circuit.
Think about it like that.
Okay. So time, your piece ready, clear path. Okay. The next one, fewer expectations. Have fewer expectations about what's about to happen. Right? Because what happens is we build this vision and sometimes something goes wrong and it all comes crashing down and you just melt. Okay? And you don't want to melt. You want to enjoy yourself, right? So be open to somebody heckling.
Really?
Which happens. Be open to an ambulance passing by. Okay? You might want to just take a brief pause and let that happen and then get back into it because those few crucial words that's drowned out are very important. Okay? All words matter. All right. So fewer expectations. Right? What else I got here? Media cued. Have your media cued. If you got a song, right, make sure that the person has it and they're going to play it right now. Otherwise, it's going to take a second for me to get this link and then I'm going to share it to you. Wait, what's your phone number? Wait, okay.
I'm that student. Yeah, I have another question. Yeah, that one.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so the pausing and the heckling. So do you address the heckling? Do you just let it go? Or do you incorporate it into the poem and turn it around on the person who heckled? I mean, is that like a thing?
It depends, though. I mean, if you're a comedian, right, you can kind of react in the moment to that person, right? But I take the time to write, and I'm very slow. Yeah. So if somebody interrupts my piece, I may want to start over.
I would say, that's what's up. Anyway, back to me.
Right.
We heard you. So.
Right, we got to think about all of those things, though. You know, you got to really pay attention to, you know, where you are in your piece, because if somebody takes you off that rhythm, it may be hard for you to get back on that train. You know.
It can happen with appreciation too. If there's a lot of appreciation
Absolutely.
for something in the piece, it could excite the audience, and that can also interrupt your rhythm. But know that it's yours. Like that 5 minutes is your golden moment. So do with it
take
what
it.
you will.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be negative. It could be a positive interruption, right? And so you want to just make sure that you're comfortable enough with your piece. Okay, whatever you're reading, if you're reading it off the page, right, hold it close enough so that you can see where you are at all times. So that if you get lost, maybe you drop it, you can pick it back up and jump right back in to it. Okay, cool. And then any other support tools. If you need a microphone, which we're going to talk about in a second. If you need a 1/4-inch cable for your guitar, okay. If you have a visual presentation, okay, make sure all of that is ready. Make sure all of that is ready. Like, it's just respect for your art. I think, you know, when you start thinking about the presentation and how actually something is going to come out, you know, I think it's always better to prepare. Okay. Freestyling has its merits, right? Being loose and fluid, you know, but you can only matrix so many obstacles and challenges before you got to be like, man, I'm done, man. Yeah. All right. Cool. So, the physical aspects of performing, right? For me, involve three words. Okay? Breathe,
There you go.
center, and align. Okay?
Breathe, center, and align.
Which is hard to do if you're nervous. You're getting up there to remember to breathe.
Yeah. Okay. I can see myself forgetting to
Your knees lock up, you start to sweat,
breathe. Yeah.
your voice shakes.
Ah.
It's like being on a first date.
Yeah.
And what happens is you start to hear yourself. And this is something we don't practice enough. So when you hear your own voice, you're like, is that me? Do I sound like that? And sometimes you actually say that shit out loud. Which is fine, because we want to create the space in which you can play and learn about yourself. But breathing is an absolute essential. And what I'm really referring to in breathing is claiming your space. Taking the time to honor the moment and work from a place of gratitude. Then it becomes easy. If you get up here and you start feeling like this is some shit that somebody owe you, it's gonna come out differently, right? It's gonna come out differently. Breathing, I think, inspires respect, patience, and a little bit of understanding, because it also helps you to slow down. A lot of times we feel like we get up here on this mic and we have to just breathe. Just breathe. Centering in particular, there's this trick, and I'm just going to show y'all. You can try this on your own. We don't have to do it now.
Shoulder width, feet, stance. Okay? And then spin in circles. until you almost fall over. Right?
Can we try it?
Yeah, can you try it?
Yeah, y'all can try it.
I can.
You spin in circles.
That's adorable.
Okay.
But I will fall.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Or you could do it sitting.
I can.
You can do it from your hips as well.
Thank you.
You can totally do it from your hips.
Those
You're
two
spinning in circles, right? Kind of big as you can possibly get without actually falling over. Your toes are going to lift up. Your heels are going to lift up. Okay? Right? You're going to lean backwards. And then what I want you to slowly do is spiral inward. Just smaller and smaller circles spiraling inward. Infinitesimally small. Even when you stop spinning, you're still spinning. You're still spiraling inward. It just keeps on going all the way down, and then, bam, that's your center. That is your center. Your physical center of gravity is about 2 inches in, okay, right below your navel. I think for men and women, I think it's different, okay? But the center of gravity, okay, is the place from which you operate. You're powerful from here, okay? You can go over here, okay? Bam, bam, okay? You can level change. You can go up and down, right? Thank you. But that's a centering exercise, okay? And I've done this, I did this at Kaiser the other day. I was in the doctor's office and I was waiting. And I was just standing there in the waiting room and I just started doing this. And I looked like I looked weird.
Like your red hot stroke.
I felt, I was by the window and I was just doing this crazy centering exercise. Okay. All right. But that's center. So breathe, center, and then the last is align. Now align has to do more with the audience. Okay? Who's your audience, right? And what do they need? Okay, and what do you have that you can exchange with this audience? Whether it's many people or one person, okay? But alignment is absolutely essential because if you're in the middle of your piece and you feel like that person has checked out, then the rest of it, your piece is just gonna feel mechanical. Like you're just gonna just be, just go ahead and finish it. They're not listening anymore, but I'm just gonna finish it. At least you finished it, but that's half-assing it, it feels like, right? Alignment, I feel like, is this constant process of connecting with a person. It's a constant process. Maybe something you said took them to another place and they'd have to disappear for a minute so that they can work through it and then come back to hearing you, okay? In which case, you need to give them that space. And you can hear it, in people. You can kind of see it in people even when they're not really vocalizing to you, okay? But alignment is absolutely essential because it's going to determine whether this person remembers you positively or negatively, I think, And I feel like I've aligned with all kinds of audiences, all types. I've gotten comfortable just reciting poems to people like on the bus. I think that's where I really got comfortable. I used to ride the bus to work. And in Texas, it's a 2-hour bus ride in either direction. Speed knows about it. That's country life, You just gonna have to wait. And so we're just out here. And I'm out here writing poems, so I'm just gonna recite some of my poems to you. But it's interesting, aligning with people who have no idea what you do. Okay. Cool. So this microphone is hot. And I want all of y'all to jump on it at some point, okay? The founder of Slam, Poetry Slam, is named Mark Smith. So what is his name? And he said that you are going to need a microphone to catch their whispers. Right? Okay. What a microphone does is it makes it easier for you. So I don't have to get up here and be like, yo, peace, my name is Jason, I'm a poet, I'm just so dope, and I hope you believe me.
I can just step up to this microphone and be like, peace, what y'all doing? Yeah, it's just as easy. And now I didn't break out in a full sweat. It's just me and this microphone up here. And this microphone can reach way further. Hi. Good to see you again. Than I can. It can actually reach the people on the back row. And that's what you want. Okay? So, in dealing with a microphone, think about the structure of the whole thing, right? This is a mic stand, it's a microphone, this is an XLR cable connected to the mixer, connected to these speakers, right? It's just equipment, okay? But it's good to know how to use this, because I've seen college professors get up and they have no idea what to do with this microphone, and it's kind of discrediting a little bit, in my opinion. I love you and I respect the education. At the same time, if you do this every day, you should learn to get better at it. Just a little bit, right? Okay, so in the physical, this is a microphone. I have a wireless microphone as well, okay? But like they all operate the same. Basically, spacing, right? You don't, like rappers hold the mic like this, and they do, you can't really understand a lot of what they say, okay? Because they cover the microphone like this, okay? Should be like this. Should be a fist's length away from your face, maybe, or a little bit closer, okay? And directly into the microphone versus off to the side or something like this, because then you can't hear what the voice is doing. But if it's directly in front of your face, no problem. Same thing if it's on the stand, because you need to hold your poem and read it out loud, or you just want to put your hands in your pockets and do this whole poet thing where we just stand still, right? If you close your eyes, you might bump into the microphone. That happens all the time. Oops, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. But that's kind of nasty. If 50 people been on this microphone and they've spit all over it already, and you touch it with your lips, you're going to feel a little bit gross, and it's going to interrupt your piece, okay? So think about your distance from the microphone, okay? Think about the volume and adjust your voice. Adjust the volume of the mic to the comfort level of your voice, not the other way around. If you get on here screaming, right, it just sounds horrible. It just sounds horrible, because now you're screaming and the mic is screaming for you, okay? Cool. Feedback, you ever think about feedback? You know about it? Mm-hmm. You know about feedback, right? It's this. It's putting the microphone near the speaker, and it creates this feedback loop, because the sound that is going into the mic is coming back out through the speakers and into the mic again, okay? And the only way to stop feedback is to turn everything down, or just stop talking, which kind of sucks, okay? But you need to learn how to address it, okay? It's an actual reality that is totally avoidable, except a lot of times when you have a lot of instruments, or you got a lot of, if you got a big speaker sound system kind of thing, it's very present, and you need to kind of learn to address it. But like, it's all the same thing, you know, same thing with this microphone. Know how long this mic cord is, right? Know how long it is if you're gonna walk around with it, or where it is so you don't trip over it, right? Like, this is a mic stand. A lot of folks have no idea how to operate a mic stand. A lot of us. I'm amazed. We host an open mic, me and Greg Speed back there, over here at the 418 Project, and we're gonna host some events in here as well. And you'll see it. A lot of people, you know, the person who was on is 6'4" before them, and then they get up here, and it's my mom, and she's 5'3", and she's like, and then this is too hard, so you can't, you know, so, and then you gotta step on this thing, and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
So who should adjust it? The person who leaves?
The host of the show should maybe adjust it for you, okay? or you just adjust it yourself. Okay? But I want y'all to put your hands on this mic so you can kind of just get the feel, right? Like, because there's different kinds. Like this right here, excuse me, is what you call a boom stand. Okay, this is straight up and down, right? Okay, and this little clip right here holds this cable in, bam, kind of thing, okay? And then there's this one, okay, that has a whole different kind of setup. It's got this, but then it's also got this situation, okay? And this is for like if you're sitting down in a chair playing your guitar, okay, and you want the mic to come to you, right? So you need to kind of just pay attention to where the pivot points are, right? Like this. Loosen this before you try to move it, because if you stand, and if it's all stiff, okay, that's gonna suck, right? But yeah, it's just the technical aspects of performing a piece. Sometimes you got a mic, sometimes you don't. If there's a podium, right, think about how close you are to it, because then you're starting to use your P's and your T's, and these are called plosives. And when they start popping like that, if it's a really sensitive mic and a loud speaker system, it's going to be disturbing, right? So think about what you're saying when you say your poem. Please. Right. No, it's just be gentle. Just be gentle. And don't feel like you got to be up on it all the time, okay? Okay. And then lastly, if you don't need a microphone, just move that shit out the way.
What?
If you don't need a microphone, just move it away.
Okay.
So that you can be fully present still. And people aren't like taking pictures of you. You got pictures of you posted on the internet like this. Right? Nah, you just want to be, you know, if you don't need it and you want to be Shakespearean about it, you can just get up there and you can just do your thing. Okay? But still respect the microphone. Okay? All right. Cool. Okay. And then I have this graphic of Adam Sandler from The Wedding Singer.
Love that.
Right?
Is that how not to do it or how to do it?
I know, right? Like, okay, but it works. Okay. So yeah, what I want to do here is I kind of just want to pass the mic around and let y'all do it, so you don't have to get up and come up here per se. But like, I think it's important. Oh, this isn't that long. I think it's important.
We have a wireless mic.
We do have a wireless, but I haven't set it up just yet. Hang on.
Sorry.
Oh, I think I did. Hang on, you're right.
It was on this morning
It was on just now, right?
when Gene was here.
Test, 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 test. That's the feedback I was telling you about. See, there you go. Okay, so that's not working. Okay. Okay, we got a longer cable. Okay. Nice. All right. Cool. So this is a decent microphone. It is a Shure SM58. This is a standard microphone. I want you to like feel the weight of it. Also, you can totally stay sitting down. You don't feel like you need to get up and do this whole thing up here. What's important to recognize is the sound of your voice coming through the microphone.
See,
Go.
I can't see.
Can you hear
Just
it?
because I can't hear it, that doesn't mean it can't be heard.
Oh,
Ooh.
it's got some crazy effects on it. Okay.
Seriously. That just came out of my mouth. Right? I feel like I want to read a poem that was given to me by a man down by the river.
Do it.
But I can't really make out a lot of it. He said I couldn't really read it. So I'm not gonna compartmentalize it and try to decipher his hand, try to decipher his handwriting. I'm not going to do that. I'm not ready to read my poem on my phone screen.
Okay.
I'm being cognizant of the things you've mentioned thus far.
Whatever you want.
You know, I'm aware of the room, so I'm not ready. Maybe by the time we go around and everybody gets, see, I just did that.
You just did that.
Because I use my hands a lot, so. But I'm feeling it.
Oh, look.
Because if I were to do
Uh-huh.
an open mic, I would need to sit.
Yeah. Look. So that's what this is for.
So
Now loosen.
you mentioned it for the person with the guitar, but I'm wondering what about the person?
Yep. And then push it all the way through. See? Push it all the way through.
All the way through.
There you go. Ish.
Yeah, so I would be that person that needs all of this special adjustments, eating into my time.
There you go. But it's your time.
It's my time. And I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not ready to read this. So
Okay.
I'm going to pass the mic
You gonna pass?
to Olivia.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can already tell that you're experienced on the mic.
I was a professor for 32 years.
Yeah.
So you had me thinking about that. It's like, I should know how to use a mic. I had to do that for a long time, but now all of a sudden I can't use a mic. Because my mouth was, my voice was loud enough. I didn't need it. I'm a cheerleader, so I didn't really need a microphone. Just fill the room with my voice. Like that.
Louder!
Put your laptop down. I'm talking.
Hello, that works? Okay. I'm going to read a poem from last year. I didn't know it was coming to a poetry reading, and since you handed me the mic, I'm going to do it. It's a haiku. Multiple ones. Autumn came quickly, it seems. The days grew shorter, and yet I am glad. There is comfort here in the dark morning wakings, pausing to be still. Breath quiets my mind, moving intentionally, connecting with source. The darkness holds me better than the light lifts me when I need to sink. To feel, to recall joy and the reasons I'm here. Dig deep to sprout high. Return memories, enriching the climb upward, encouraging growth. Still here and thriving, planted intentionally, fierce self-worth and love. Slowly unfolding, awareness taking control, grace and strength within.
Nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. Yeah. Oh.
You don't even have to move. The mic comes to you. That's dope. Don't move. The mic will come to you.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Getting comfortable with my voice. This world has given me no other choice than to be comfortable using my voice as a poet. So, I was taking notes as soon as I walked in the door. And I caught wind of the word, a microphone will catch your whispers. So you don't have to yell in order to be heard. Use your words wisely, of course. Perform your poem precisely with patience, using the P. Feel the vibration within the room as you become part of the energy. I think that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
Thanks for such an informative workshop, Jason.
Isn't
This
that
is
fun?
great.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Patty.
You're welcome. So this is an excerpt from something that I wrote Zooming with a friend that who lives in Eugene, Oregon, and we Zoom every couple of weeks or so. And this is just something that I wrote. It was about snake. The prompt was, take me to the snake forest.
Okay.
Snake is not cuddly. Snake has no warm blood. Doesn't need a blanket. Snake has no fur. Doesn't need combing. Doesn't puke hairballs. Snake doesn't wear a wig or a Halloween costume. Snake lives in a pit in a forest. Doesn't hide from the big bad wolf. Snake's only enemy is mongoose and St. Patrick. Snake will never go to Ireland on vacation. Snake doesn't care about Goldilocks or Little Red Riding Hood. Snake doesn't know the names of the trees of the forest, but the hermit who lives in a thatched hut in the forest knows the names of the snakes, and therefore is the saint who can command the snakes to sit, stay, roll over, or fetch. Saint wants to sell snake to the circus, but whoever heard of a circus snake, a polo snake, or maybe even a companion animal snake? But that's stretching it.
I have a lot of poems, but my phone's out of data and I can't pull them up, so I'm very sad about that because I have like a ton of poems.
It's all right.
Oh, wait.
You got one? You got one too?
As a freestyle in a moment, I need 3 words in the audience.
Oh, okay.
Enrichment.
Enrichment. Love.
Cloudy.
Oh. It was cloudy this morning. I love the fog. It enriches my skin, my mood, and my plans.
Nice.
She just made that up right off the top. Thank you all. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Yeah, so I mean, how does it feel to hold the mic in your hand like that, right? Like, this mic is listening to you like a loved one, like somebody who genuinely cares about the way you say what you want to say, right? So I would recommend folks take more opportunities to speak on microphones, whether you have one of your own or not. I think what it does for me is it makes me really take my time and think about who I am before I put it out into the world. Right. It's about taking that time, right, to really breathe, center, and align. I think these things will help you in work and school and relationships and, you know, I sometimes go to the ocean and I recite poems at the sea because she's listening. And there's nobody to cater to. There's no audience judging me. You know what it is, right? Yeah, and so I just want folks to practice. I say practice, practice, practice. Practice is the profession. You think about musicians, they're playing all the time, right? Poets, we're writing and we're thinking all the time, but we're rarely actually poeting, right? And so being in a space where your words will be felt and heard and honored, I think is a sacred opportunity. I say seek them out, right?
I thought of one that I wrote when I was in high school.
Oh, yeah?
It was like Henry.
Okay.
Can I do it?
Yeah, do it.
So I'm gonna feel the mic in my hand.
I kind of liked it.
Mhm.
A little bit.
It's got weight to it.
Okay, I think I wrote this when I was in 11th grade. It just came to me. Games people play. They amuse the heart and confuse the mind. And somebody loses all the time.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
I remembered it.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I know I had something.
I love that.
That was fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I think my friend Greg Speed got a poem similar to that. We play with people's hearts too much. Some. Yeah. Well, it's good that you've memorized that. I mean, I sincerely think that we should memorize some poems. Just memorize some. You don't have to memorize them all, but some of them. Some of them. Memorize so that you can
Kind of just like casually share a poem with somebody. And it doesn't have to be this, well, I'll pull out my book, my phone, and my collection of works here. Nah, man, just spit that shit. It's okay, like, you know, it's, I think what happens for me is it becomes this big performance thing sometimes, and then you just shrink. You're like, you can't meet that expectation to, you know, deliver a poem flawlessly and all, but it shouldn't have to be any of that, you know. I say memorize just like a couple of your pieces and then practice them and, you know, work from there. What else? I also say practice for 1 and 1,000, right? Which makes sense. Because if it's just me and you, Madonna, you know, it may soon be the amphitheater at the UCSC, right? Like, you never know. It's like, you have to be able to do you in either of those spaces. Okay? I also recommend folks record. We talked about voice memos, but also video recording is important because then you can pay attention to your habits. It's hard to watch yourself. It really is. I know we know this. It's hard sometimes to even hear your own voice, but watching yourself, okay, should be looked at like homework. Like it's that important, okay, to really think about how other people see you, okay? If you want to be seen anyway. Some of us don't want to be seen, and that's fine. You know, I see people get up on the stage, and then they'll just sit down on the floor, quiet. I'm in this little corner, and I'm by myself, and that's where I'm comfortable, and that's fine. It's fine. Okay, but if you're thinking about performing, right, don't discriminate. Okay, sharing your work. That's a different kind of thing, whether you share it online, right? If you share a poem online, make sure it's legible. Okay, if it's a performance, make sure it's good, decent audio quality maybe and visual, because then nobody will watch it. And they can't give you any feedback on your work and help you become better if it's not watchable, okay? Which is why I say watch yourself, okay? And then maybe also work with a coach, which seems a little pretentious to have somebody else tell me how to do what I do, you know? We get real sensitive about that. Like, how do you know what I feel about this whole thing, you know? But I think what coaches do is they take you out of your shit, right? They kind of help you to disconnect from this sacred thing. Are you going to read a poem?
You have one?
Yeah.
Yeah? You want the... Nice? You want the microphone?
Alright, I'm done.
I
Longer one or shorter one? You guys get to pick.
Yeah. Oh, I want the
I'll
mic.
have one too, and
I want the
then
longer one.
Alright, I'll do the longer one.
All right.
The more I learn, the less I know. Nothing to be sure of. Opinions do not come easy. Free thought gone. Gone and back and gone again. Lost. If I cannot learn, how can I create? If I cannot decide, how will I live? And all I know to be true can be argued over and over again until nothing is real, nothing makes sense, nothing is, nothing, no, yes? Breath in the bit of truth you can find. No, that's stupid. Create, that's all I can do. But now that's gone too, maybe forever. There must be a way to find it again, to lose, to win, to live again.
Very nice. Very nice.
Okay, mine are kind of long. Sorry about
That's
that.
all right. You got it.
Okay. This is called Sand. I was a grain of sand, lying for millennia, tiny, infinitesimal, tossed about here and there by the waves. Tossed about here and there by the waves, silent, crumpled inward, untold epics of silence, of calm and of forgetting, of knowing only the limits of my sand body, my simple sand existence. One day lightning struck and I was fused into glass, all the world illuminated. I leapt from the shore into a spectacle of light, my heart burned open. I was fused with the stars, becoming their dancer, their singer, their leaping silver fish. Becoming a giant with eyes of tourmaline, I spread out across the sky, tumbling amongst you all, remembering my brothers who looked on with me with bemusement, as they never get tired of when we return and remember everything and find our family again, burning with scintillating simcha. They say, I can't wait to introduce you to our mother, and you'll remember it's time now to fly with the very wings of night wherever you please, to dissolve your holy body upon the face of the sun and be evermore alive, to dance the ecstasy of destruction, the glory of crumbling, to dive into the ending and come out beginning. Like people going in and out of the sea, like seeds in a compost pile, you will know death and life. They are all yours. You will burn, sing, create, feast in the starry halls with your brethren, know joy down to your last electron. And whenever you choose, you may become a grain of sand again, singular, unique, or something else, a human being, or something.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank y'all. That was beautiful. I appreciate y'all. And yeah, so thank you for reading. Sincerely, thank you for sharing. I love to hear different voices. Right? I like to hear, like, I can try to figure out where you're from based on your voice, based on your reflection and how you talk. I can kind of assume your heritage based on your voice, right? And it's this fine line between stereotypes and generalizations, without being judgy about any of it. I think it's a beautiful thing to kind of witness somebody performing as well, because this is their self-image, right? This is what they want to put forth into the world, So thank y'all for sharing your inner voices and your truths. It really, really makes a difference in this world, and I encourage you all to just keep rocking. Just keep rocking, all right? Yeah, thank you. My name is Joseph Jason Santiago LaCour, and that is the Dope Poet Love Performance Workshop.
What you got?
I got some announcements.
Rika has announcements.
This man.
Rika is the proprietor of this establishment. Thank you, Rika, for having us. Please.
Thank you so much.
Do I have to be proper? I don't want to be proper.
Jason.
Oh,
Thank you, Jason. Oh, this isn't. Okay.
you got it. It's a little tight.
It's a special one.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Here we go.
You guys just kind of push.
There we go. See? You gotta take the time. All right, I have some announcements about poetry, and I don't know where they are because I wasn't prepared for this moment. Gotta have a cute song to keep you entertained. All right, here we go. So, we'll be holding, we don't know what else we're gonna do, but we're putting together our programming, and we like it here, and we like you here. So, if you want to write on your calendar for more writing and reciting, active workshop, the next one will be on Saturday, July 27th, which is in 2 weeks. 5 to 8 p.m. What the hell? 5 to 8 p.m. So there's time. Yeah, you're doing a workshop, just so you know.
You're doing a workshop. So we can have more time to do some writing and do some talk, reciting and practicing, however you like. It is the day before mic drop, which is on the Sunday. And also there's another event here that Sunday, so you gotta pick your happiness. And then the same thing next month. Looks like it's on the 25th. No, Saturday the 17th, 5 to 8, another writing workshop in August. And then he's going to be in the city somewhere. You're going to have to find out on his Instagram about that. And if you're just hanging out, we're going to do a little henna DIY workshop for the next little bit. Yes. But it's very casual, so whatever you like to do.
Yes.
Henna! Yes, henna! And we have a raffle. And so far, the chances of you winning something are really high because there's no tickets in the jersey. And you get to pick the thing you want to try to win. It's only $1. Or you can post on Instagram for a free ticket. Whatever. It's so great to see you guys here. This is so fun. Now we know what we can actually do in the space.
What time is the workshop on the 27th?
5 to 8 p.m. Yes.
Nice.
You can bring your dinner.
Yeah, well,
We'll have some snacks.
I
and
was
tea.
already thinking about it. We're gonna try to do poetry with music.
They'll have something new for you.
Something new.
And I don't need a mic. Oh, are we doing this? Or are we done with this? Hi.
Yeah, you can stop.